Brilliance Audio.
They Come at Night by Yasmin Angoe. Performed by Tamika, Katon-Donegal. Heroes are made in the hour of defeat. Success is, therefore, well described as a series of glorious defeats. Mahatma Gandhi. 1. Right off Low Country Highway in South Carolina sat an antiquated white home nestled behind the expanse of lush green lawn and white picket fences. The all-white house reminded Nena of a smaller plantation home. It was more modern, but here anything even slightly resembling those picturesque ancient homes still elicited uneasy feelings for what they'd once represented. Nena looked around at the pockets of pond water, blanketed with green algae, and the aged, gnarled limb oak trees, draped in low-hanging gray Spanish moss. It all made her imagine how things used to be here. She wondered what stories these centuries-old trees had to tell. What secrets hung on those twisted limbs that stretched out like long brown talons. Stretched out to here. Nena chuckled, shaking her head for letting her mind wander there, to places that scared even her, the supposedly unflappable assassin. The Wodini, here on a mission, sitting quietly on the white wooden porch swing, her arms resting on her knees as one hand held a .45 and the other settled the gun's silencer atop the barrel, her fingers deftly attaching the two pieces together. There were no neighbors nearby. Probably didn't need the silencer. Still, she remained cautious on the off chance that someone was in the woods or elsewhere on the grounds. Regardless of its history, Nena could understand the allure of this place. It was beautiful. This whole area was beautiful. She wouldn't deny it that. Its lushness reminded her of home. Home. On Aburi Mountain. One of the two places she'd felt at peace. She closed her eyes and listened, the inability to see sharpening her hearing. There was nothing but birds and nature and stillness. Too still. Solitude was what she'd thought she enjoyed the most, but she'd come to realize she only enjoyed it amid commotion and life, like her home in Miami brought. Even on Aburi, in the home cut into the mountain, there'd been sounds of Africa. Here, there was nothing. She didn't care for that very much. It was time. And once again, Nena felt the barely perceptible change come over her as her wandering thoughts focused. Her emotions melted away into the stifling heat, and she slipped into her other half. Echo stood, letting the swing bump against the backs of her knees and still. She walked over to the front door, put her gloved hand on the ornate handle, and pushed the door in. She appreciated that the fall weather was cooler, not so famously hot like South Carolina was known for. Whoever had coined that had never been to Ghana in the summer, obviously. Air conditioning greeted her, even if it was November. The house was stuffy and in desperate need of airing out. If the wife and kids had been home, perhaps it would have happened. But they weren't, having left the man of the house home alone while they went away on holiday. His muffled cries restarted the moment Echo stepped inside. She knew the house, having walked its floors from top to bottom while she'd waited for its owner to return, hand in hand with a redhead who looked nothing like the wife in the family photos decorating the walls. They'd been pawing each other, barely through the door before he'd been on the woman, groping her as if he were some adolescent experiencing his first time. Echo had glanced again at the staggered portrait.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?